Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Paris Art and Movie Awards. We keep doing our series of interviews and panels and discussions with filmmakers from around the world. And this morning, I have two guests, two co directors of one very beautiful short film. The title of the film is Antes de que te vayas. See, before you go, and we're going to discuss with the two co-directors, Hans and Vicente. Good morning. I say good morning for me, but maybe it's
Morning, man.
where are
Yeah,
you?
here's the same. We're in Chile, in Santiago, I
Okay,
think, Vicente.
Yes, I'm in Santiago. It's noon around here. So yeah, good morning, good afternoon.
okay, perfect. It's pretty rare for me to be on the same time zone than anybody else. Whatever. So the movie Antes de que te vayas, made in Chile,
Mm-hmm.
in is it Espanol or is it a specific dialect?
It's Spanish.
Uh,
It's Spanish spoken.
Spanish. Yeah. Okay. So tell me a little bit about you first. I don't know, Hans, do you want to start? A little bit of
sure.
your filmmaking background so we get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you, Matt, for having us. About me, about Vicente, this is our first short film, so it's kind of the starting point in our careers. We are very
Okay.
happy that it's currently showing in your festival and all that. We are very pleased. But
Thank you.
yeah, I also have another short, kind of my baby right now, El Cuero.
Okay.
So it's kind of a different film, a horror film. So this is
Very different genre.
very different from Antes de que te vayas. That is the story of two friends in a little town in one weekend that they have to say goodbye, maybe forever. Vicente, I don't know if
Vicente,
you want to go.
can you tell us a little bit about you and yeah, as a filmmaker, where do you come from?
Yeah, sure. Well, I went to school with Hans. That's how we met. And before you go with my first film, as he said, I'm currently working in documentaries. I'm a DOP and a screenwriter and an editor for a TV show here in Chile. It's called Somos los Niños, which translates as "We Are the Kids."
Oh, the kids.
There are stories about how the kids in Chile are changing their schools and friend groups and communities with new and exciting projects to come. So yeah, I'm somewhere between fiction and documentary as of now.
Did you guys go to film school? How
Yeah,
did you start making movies? Everybody has a different story that brings us to making movies. What's yours?
sure. Vicente, please.
Yeah, we went to film school together.
Okay.
I don't know if we met in the first or the second year, but we met before you go on our uh, fourth year, so towards the end of our journey to through film school. That's how we met, and we did sort of little short films, nothing bigger than, let's say, 5 minutes in
Okay.
Mm,
between courses. But before you go is our first a big short film.
First,
actually,
We sort of, it started as a school project, as a uni project, but then we realized we had something that we wanted to work on as something bigger. We said this could make it out of just our classmates.
yeah. Actually, can I add something?
go
I
ahead.
met Vicente in a workshop, as you may call it, but it's
Yeah.
in university. And he did. I remember like a sort of musical kind of short film in a construction site. So we kind of hit it off then, and maybe a year later we talked to each other about making this film. We didn't know where to start. We started talking. We wanted to do kind of a growing, how how do you
A
call
coming
it,
of age story.
a coming of
Coming
age.
of age.
Yeah, sort of romantic, maybe. Yeah, like that is the start of the idea. Us working together. We were very young. We still are, but we were younger back then, so it was kind of
Tell us
kind
a
of
little bit,
a straight. Yeah,
because tell us a little bit about what's the movie about. What's the
sure,
story here?
sure. This is the story of two friends, Daniel and Franco. They go on a trip, the um, the last weekend before one of them leaves town for college, and it's kind of the story of one of them coming out with his feelings towards his friend. Uh, it's kind of a hard spot to be on because it's his best friend, and also he has feelings. So, and he's leaving. It's kind of a difficult.
Kind of the last chance to
Yeah.
express himself.
Yeah, it's a love story. I was briefing the short film to somebody else the other day, and I said the thing about the story is that for one of the friends, for Daniel, no, for Franco, it's saying goodbye to his best friend, and then for Daniel, it's saying goodbye to his first love.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good definition. It's a good presentation. Let's take a quick look at it so we get an idea of the visual style of the film.
Sure.
¿Qué tal? ¿Y qué vaya a hacer este año?
Trabajar.
Siento que... Siento que todos nos vamos. ¿Y quién más se queda?
No sé, po. Sería mi único amigo.
¿Cómo? Y la Cata, la Jo, el Pipo.
¿Tu pololo?
¿Y quién te dijo esa weá?
So that moment really shows, I think, the coming of age thing. Two friends having a good time, having fun, and you can, I don't know, I can feel the way it's filmed, the what happens on screen also. Something is happening a little bit deeper than what you see on screen. I find the film be very subtle. How do you, first question, who wrote the script and who came up with the story?
We
Trick
both did.
question.
I didn't know
we
that.
both
Okay.
we both wrote the screenplay together. Yeah,
Okay. Why?
and
Go ahead.
the way that we came up with the story, I think, was special because it was written by the both of us. I think Hans came up with the idea for it being set away from the city in a way that a house will hold these two characters and make them face their own selves. And then I came up with the idea for for it to be a love story and for it to be a queer story.
Yeah.
How? Yeah. Do you want to add something, Ans?
No, no, please, please, man.
Okay. Um, how did you cast the two leads, the two
Oh,
actors?
I want to answer this question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we first obviously being the story set in Aysén, the region I'm originally from.
Mhm.
We started looking actors for the part of Franco and Daniel, and we found a marvelous actor named Joaquin. He was like 2 years older than us. He was in my school when I was younger, and he loved the project. He read like the first or second version of the script and really liked it. And then I think it was through Florencia, our AD, that we
Okay.
met Daniel Nicola.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was perfect. He had the most closest backstory. He was very similar to the character that he was portraying. He was going to portray, so
Okay.
it was kind of a
So he had some real stuff he could relate to
yeah,
with the character.
yeah.
Yeah, well, both the leads are from the south of Chile, so they both had a similar experience with leaving their hometown and saying goodbye to everybody they ever knew.
Okay, they know that feeling. Yeah. How's the short film dynamic in Chile? Do you have a lot of people making short films? It's a very
Yeah, sure.
naive question, but we
No,
don't know much of South America movie-wise. We don't have movie coming from South America very often. So this
mhm.
is really something that I'm interested in. How is it? Do you have a lot of competition? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you have a lot of young people making short films?
I'll
I
say it's
think
a lot of young
okay.
people. Yeah. No, I'll say it's a lot of young people. this is a school project, so it's very different. A lot of the people that worked in were our classmates or just friends that we knew from life and that wanted
Yeah,
to be a part of it, of this project. But I think that there are a lot of ideas and there are some projects happening. It's just that there are not as much spaces for them to grow.
yeah,
This short film specifically became what it is now because it was able to participate and then to win a work in progress competition here in Chile, in the south as
got
well.
you.
But these competitions for short films specifically in Chile, I think there are maybe three, maybe
Mm.
four. So it's a very expensive art form for you
Yeah.
to finish if you don't have this sort of support.
You talk about room to grow. Now you have that film. How do you transform that into the first step into a career? How do you use the short film to meet people, make another short film, make another project? Is it useful? Do you use it?
Sure. I recall meeting one DOP that I showed the film, the short film. Actually, it was in VitaFest, creo. I think Vicente, that we kind of like meet a lot of people in that festival. It also had a section of kind of a work in progress or meeting ups, speed meetings with a lot of
Yeah, an
people.
industry sort of
Yeah.
section of the festival. In my experience, I think it has been useful for me as a way of showing my not only my work as the one big thing that I've done, but also my interests and where I'm sort of leading with the
Mm,
rest of my work that's to come. When I show this short film, I'm not just saying, "Hey, this is what I did and what I'm capable of," but I'm also saying these are the themes that I want to explore, and these are the things that interest me as a filmmaker.
And do you want
yeah.
to keep doing that in Chile, or do you want to
Sure.
explore different countries?
Sure. In my case, this very tiny step was kind of a way to prove ourselves that we can film in a very far away region, like it's Aysén, with extreme conditions and very few people in our team. So it was kind of a proof that we can do it, and we did. And yeah.
Vicente.
Yeah, about Chile and the international market. I think it's it sort of made me as the character. It's made me face questions that I didn't think would be
Interesting.
questioned to me
Yeah.
because I didn't think when we wrote this or when we directed it that we will be having this interview with you from Paris, that we will have to coordinate our time zones, you know.
Yeah.
So it has been interesting. The short film premiered about a year ago, so it's just starting sort of, and I'm very happy with the distribution we've been able to give it to it. I do think that that filming outside of Chile is not only an exciting thought, but a new market that I'm gravitating towards
Yeah.
slowly. I had my first filming outside of Chile this year in Medellin, Colombia,
Yeah.
also in South America, and it was a very different experience and something that made me excited about maybe exploring other industries.
Well, let me tell you one thing. This is not part of the interview, but you speak English, you speak Spanish. That's already a very big advantage. If you go anywhere speaking two languages, I've been there. I speak French, I speak a little bit of Spanish, I speak English. It's helping because it opens doors and options for you along the way. Um, think about that.
I'm
But
really hoping for it to be true.
I would like to come back to the fact that it's your first short film.
Mhm.
It's really looking good. It has a story, it's well directed, it's very well performed by the two leads. You have magical locations, you have an atmosphere of it. That's a very good film for a first film. How much did you prepare? Was it did it came natural to you? How much was work? How much was inspiration? How do you make such a good first film?
We worked a lot in
It was really
a
hard.
lot, a lot, a lot. We had daily Zoom meetings with Hans throughout this process. I think it was about 6 months of daily Zoom meetings. We started writing the script in around August, September 2020, so in the first year of the pandemic,
Okay.
where we were and
Yeah.
trapped within ourselves and within our thoughts. So we'd have a lot of feelings and a lot of stories to pour out of ourselves. I think we weren't vaccinated yet. We didn't know when this thing would end,
Yeah.
and so we were just, I think, eager to tell these stories that we were sort of building up inside of ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not to look cool, but we actually were really scared, and it was our first short film, as you say. But it was kind of awesome that with Vicente we kind of just go along with it and write it and
Yeah.
just go with it. Yeah, it was an adventure in
It's a
every
good
sense of the
feeling.
word.
You never know how much it's gonna impact your life. You don't know who's gonna respond to it and how. So that's already always part of the process. You said you had the premiere of the film. Was it in an actual venue?
It was in a venue. We weren't able to
Okay.
attend because it was in
Barcelona.
Barcelona, in
Yeah.
Spain.
Okay. Did you attend one of the screening, one of the in-person screenings?
I haven't been able to.
Oh my God. Not even in
Okay.
Chile.
No, no, I'm
Soon.
hoping for it to be in the rest of this year.
Okay. What are you the most proud of when you watch your own film? Is there a scene, a moment, a shot,
Mm.
an emotion that you say, that's cool, I did that?
I do have an answer for this. I think for Hans it might be different, but
Go ahead.
I don't want to spoil it too much because if somebody's watching this and then they're going to watch the short
Okay.
film at the festival,
So
so
go
I'll be
ahead.
sad. But I do think that towards the end of the film, the dialogue becomes less and less,
Correct.
and I think that's when emotions are showing more and more.
Yeah,
I think that well, there's this thing, this all is lost moment in the film, as in every other film, that breaks the dialogue for it until the credits show up. And I do think that what happens in that minute or that minute and a half, it's where the story is just where the characters are not only showing themselves, but they are seeing the other one.
I agree.
Do you
Hans?
hands have a moment?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it either, but I was thinking just to say a uh, different part of the short film. Uh, for me, it was a very special moment when we broke the window. So big
Uh,
spoiler because it
no, no
was
spoiler.
no
It's
no
a minute in the
it
film.
yeah, and it was kind of an adrenaline moment. Everyone in the team was looking at that window that we had just one shot at breaking it, and it was amazing and it was vibrant. And I think it was like the last day. One of the
It was the
actors.
first one, I think,
It was the first one.
or
Ah,
the
yeah,
second
sure.
one.
Because we had to live and sleep with that hole in the window for like 2 more days. So it was kind of a cool moment. And but I also agree with Vicente in that specific particular scene. It's very intimate, and the fact that the characters don't speak, but we are seeing what they are feeling and saying to each other with movement and actions. It's kind of amazing to direct.
One thing that works very well, usually there's a saying that when you're making movies, you have to show and not tell.
Mhm.
And your movie is kind of the perfect example of that. The more we go into the movie, the less dialogue or the less voiceover there is. And I started to get really captivated, I don't know, emotionally in the shaving scene when they shave each other's eyebrows. And then, like you described, Vicente, something happens. We don't want to spoil. And they run away. And the what's happening in the story, the actions, is starting some emotions and is starting the change in the characters. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I really loved the fact that you are being respected as a viewer. You're not telling the movie is not telling me what I have to understand. There's no dialogue. There's no explanation. I'm just watching what's happening. with the characters. Um, did they teach you that in school? The show don't tell. Is it something that you understood yourself? Is it something that you didn't have a grasp on and just happened when you made the movie? Because creating emotion on screen could be natural. It could also be a lot of work and a lot of directing. Where do you think you are in all of that? That's a very long-winded question. I'm sorry.
No, no,
It's a good question. I think that's a very sweet thing for you to say. Thank you. And yeah, they do. They teach us and they teach us and they teach us about show don't tell. They don't bother to translate it to Spanish. They just say show don't tell.
Yeah.
It's
no.
it's a big thing. And I do think that the short film, because we took about a year to finish it since the start of the screenplay until the last cut of the edits. It had a lot more of dialogue. I'm a big fan of dialogue. I love mumblecore, and I do think that there's a beauty in the pace that you speak and how it can have a certain rhythm to your movie. But then when we were editing the film, we realized that we just wanted to watch them fall in and out of each other. And so
Yeah.
we took a lot of it out. And then we realized, well, is this really necessary? Is this really necessary? And with Hans, we both agreed on what you were saying, that we had to respect the viewer and not to baby them.
Yeah.
They are smart. They have seen thousands of films before.
Yeah.
They have seen thousands of shows. They get to their house and they watch Netflix. They know what's happening on screen.
Yeah.
And so we ripped it out to its core, and I do think that it's its best version.
Yeah. 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 How is it going with the? You mentioned a little bit before the distribution of the film. Is it showing in as many festivals as you expected? Is it showing in South America? Is it showing internationally? How is it doing?
Amazing.
Hans, you can answer this.
It's going amazing. Just this last week, we heard some very good news that it's going to premiere in Brazil.
Good.
So and bueno, it's been in Barcelona. It's going to be in Mexico in a couple months, like in November, I think, Vicente.
Yeah,
Playa
in
del
Playa
Carmen.
del Carmen. We
It's been
can't
in a
say too much about where it's going to be, but we can say about where it's been already.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
been in Argentina, so it's been all over, and it's been really a pleasure to us to show it to people, and it's kind of sad that we don't get to see them and
Yeah.
to speak with the audience, and really, as we are talking to you right now, to feel the counterpart, like the experience of the audience in watching our film. So, but
Yeah,
it's been
it
great.
is a good thing in a way, in a sense that the movie is traveling. It is
Yeah.
not as good as the same because of financials, you cannot go with the movie everywhere.
Hmm.
So it's always a matter of a choice. Like, can I? Should I? It's all of that. But that brings me to my next question. Uh, does that experience of making the film and going to the film festivals and getting to know new people and all of that, how does it influence the making of your next project, the ones that you're working on right now, the horror film and the documentary? Is it, what did you learn in the process that is going to make you an even better filmmaker next time?
Can I answer this question?
sure.
um, I think maybe it's the most satisfying experience in the film festival, to meet other filmmakers and see what they're doing, and get the sense that there's a lot of creative ideas going around, and that you can share with them what your thoughts are and what they tell you. So I think for me that's the most important part of the process of distribution, like going out, getting to know people, their ideas, sharing your ideas, your own thoughts. I notice my own thoughts have changed when
Hmm.
when I have met other
Yeah.
people, other filmmakers, because gosh, I meet someone and they're like, wow, this very enthusiast, crazy artist. So it's very inspiring. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, Vicente.
I do think that the thing that I appreciate the most about film festivals is that it it makes me question if there's something else that I really want to do and that I haven't tried,
Hmm.
because I could keep doing short film fictions, but when I'm meeting these new people doing documentary or doing TV, it makes me spark ideas that I haven't had before. I remember when when I got to travel to Lebu to our first film festival experience where
Okay.
we won this work in progress competition. I met this amazing Chilean director that had won the best music video category, and we talked a lot about how we you can communicate towards music and how it allows you to be more sensorial, to have an aesthetic that doesn't sort of, ay, ¿cómo se dice? Compromete, that
Compromise.
restricts itself, compromise to a more strict story. And that made me realize how much I wanted to go into music videos. And then I
Yeah.
went and directed a music video. I think it forces you to grow, and that's
Mm,
a very beautiful experience.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Music video, especially, it's a kind of a free form of expression. You don't have to respect any storytelling if you want to. You could also go full on storytelling if you want to. It's a format that allows you to be very creative, and I learned personally a lot doing music videos. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to explain about the movie or share about the experience of making it?
I would like to thank the team that we haven't talked much about them, but I think because the way that we shot this film in the pandemic, we had to live with the team for the 4 days
yeah.
that we were shooting, and so we we developed a very special connection, I think, and I do believe that that's a main reason why the film became what it became. And
Mm.
so I would like to openly thank Nicola and Joaquin, Isabel, Jose Tomas, and Florencia, and Natuca, and everybody who made this possible. I'm very thankful for them. And I will also like to thank you and Festival for this instance.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hans, anything you want to add?
I fully agree. Thanks to the whole team. Thanks to you, Matt. And we are very, very happy to be here with you. So we hope you like our little short film and that you enjoy it.
Go watch it.
Thank you, Vicente, Hans. Congrats. I mean, it's a first short film, and it's a very good first short film. My first short film was not as good as that at all, far from that. So it's really, it's an achievement. It's pretty, it's beautiful. The story is meaningful. The performances are great. There is nothing that you cannot say is not good in this movie. So really, congratulations, and we are looking forward to see your next movie.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot, Matt.
Have a good one.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.